This might be an unpopular opinion, but I'm going to talk about why I think that new and first-time course creators should be live launching their courses rather than going straight to Evergreen. So a lot of the clients I work with love the idea of passive income. So they love the idea of, putting some work in to create a course, but then setting up this automated system to sell it on autopilot. And you hear about gurus saying, I was on vacation and I was getting Stripe notifications and, the money was coming in and I wasn't like, I was having a margarita or something like that. And that does sound ideal. But the thing is that setting a course on Evergreen is something that I think is better for when you have some proven experience with your course. And I'm going to talk about 3 reasons that I hope are compelling as to why you should live launch a course first before setting up an Evergreen system for it. So the first reason is, for your own sake, you could end up spending a lot of time and a lot of money putting together a course that nobody wants. So when you put a course on Evergreen, it pretty much has to be like all the content has to be available when somebody purchases. And that means that you have to put time into, creating your slides, doing your videos, editing them, coming up with bonuses, like, maybe putting like transcriptions, or like a lot goes into creating that content. And a lot of clients that I work with have actually spent not only the time putting together that content themselves, but they've spent money hiring professional designers, hiring video editors. And so they're putting time and money into an offer that's not proven. And then when they go to sell it, they don't really get anyone to buy it. And then they feel like they can't like recoup that time and that money that they put into creating the course. Whereas if you live launch a course, you can pre-sell it, which means that you only create a little bit of the content before you do your launch. And then you can launch it and see if there's interest in it. See how many people are purchasing, see like, maybe like what option they're taking, if you have like more than one option, like a standard and a VIP or something like that, like, get a feel for whether or not there's interest and whether people are actually willing to pay money for what you're offering before you create your content. So if you do that, you're actually getting paid to create the content as opposed to spending time and money creating it and then nobody buys it. So the second reason that I highly recommend live launching a course, especially the first time around, is because ultimately what you want with your course, besides for making money, right, is to have your students have an amazing experience with the course. They will then, go on to recommend your course to other people. They'll want to know how else that they can work with you. They'll become your raving fans, right? Maybe they'll even like mention you in Facebook groups and stuff. You want people to achieve the transformation that you promised and to get the best possible results from your course. But if you fully create the course before you launch it, and you just go ahead and put it on Evergreen where it's a more hands-off situation, you are not giving yourself the opportunity to gather feedback from people, see what questions they have, so that you can shape the course to be the best possible experience for your students. Whereas if you live launch the course and you're kind of like creating the content as you go along in real time with your students, you can pivot, you can shape your material according to like, what are they confused by? What do they want more of? What do they love? Like, what parts are they skipping? Or where are they getting stuck? Is the pace of the material too fast or too slow? If you do a live launch, you can get all of that information that's so valuable. And a lot of it you may not have thought of on your own if you just like went straight to the Evergreen launch. But if you get that feedback in real time from your students, then you can use that to optimize your course and to get great results from your students when you go on to sell it over and over and over. The third reason that I highly recommend live launching a course is because the numbers are different for a live launch and an evergreen launch. With an evergreen model, you don't have the sense of urgency that a live launch has, right? So you don't have like those countdown timers that signify that the enrollment is about to close. You may not have like fast action bonuses for people who enroll in the first day or two. People, if they feel like they can just decide at any time, they're going to procrastinate on making the decision about whether or not to enroll if they don't have that urgency. So generally, conversion rates are lower for an evergreen system than for a live launch. So in order to make like the equivalent amount of money for an evergreen course as for a live launch course, you actually need more leads coming in. You need more people like seeing your offer because of the lower conversion in order to result in the same number of sales. So that puts pressure on you to either pay more for traffic through ads or to put more effort into lead generation. And the other thing is, even if you do get more leads, you don't know your numbers if you go straight to Evergreen. You don't know what the conversion rate of your sales page is going to be. You don't know, like if you have several emails that you're sending out, like you don't know which email is going to be the most effective. Are some of them like not even being opened? Like what's the, like, you know, how many people are like showing up for the webinar? It's a lot harder to predict what your sales are going to be with an evergreen model because it's just not proven. So it's better to live launch your course so that you can get the data and see what's working and what's not working in your funnel. Because if you don't know how effective your funnel is, which is basically like your marketing system for selling the course, then you're completely wasting time and money sending leads to it because you have no idea if those people are going to buy, or if there is something you can do, maybe even like a small tweak to optimize the funnel and to get more sales out of it. So I feel like it's a much better approach to test your system. So you're testing your offer by pre-selling it, but you're testing your system or your funnel by doing this live launch and looking at the data, looking at the numbers to see like what parts of it are working and what parts are maybe not so great and could be improved. And then once you have information, once you know, like, do people like the offer itself? You know, is everything in the funnel as optimized as it could be? What needs to be included in the course to have the best student experience? Once you gather all of that information from doing several live launches in a row, then you can go to Evergreen, and that's how you can get the best possible results from an Evergreen course by not rushing into it, but by doing your homework and live launching ahead of time a few times.